beat the Spurs with the pass. You're not going to be able to beat them off the dribble. They play great individual defense and team defense, so you got to beat them with the pass. Then Duncan and company, you got to keep them off the glass. You cannot let a team this good get second shots, and you got to have a chance to give yourself a chance to get out and run, so you have to rebound on the defensive end.
Joey Crawford to toss it in the air and underway in Atlanta. Spurs come in 8-2. They've split their 4 road games to date. Michael Finley matched against Marvin Williams. Tim Duncan back to Finley. Inside the ring, nails it. Michael Finley. I think all the folks around the NBA so thrilled for Michael to get that ring last year.
A guy who deserves it. I mean, plays his heart out. You never hear anything about Michael Finley. He's just a class citizen. And it was nice to see him get a championship.
Last time the Hawks were on this floor, double OT with Seattle as Zaza Pachulia tees one up.
And the one thing you like about it, Joe Johnson, just like I said, trying to beat the Hawks with the pass. Got a chance, had a wide open look, but he moved the basketball, moved that Spurs defense, and got Zaza Pachulia a wide open jumper.
Parker with the penetration. And Tony, Bruce, I was out of bounds.
You can tell good teams, they just looked at each other and said, Bruce, Tony, and they said, just play. Just play.
Marvin turns, fires, and leaves it short. Parker looking ahead for Finley. Takes it himself. Saw Josh Smith and circled out.
Good idea. When you see Josh Smith out there and you trying to go lay it up, he will probably go get it.
Tony Parker using that screen effectively from Duncan. 4-2 San Antonio. Still an outstanding defensive ball club. San Antonio allows just 90 points a game. Second best in the league to date. Marvin, good this time. His mid-range game has really improved.
It has. I mean, he has a pretty jump shot, and I know he's feeling under the weather, but usually players have a better game when you're feeling a little sick. You concentrate a little bit more. You even slow down a bit, and you don't use as much energy. You try to pick your spots.
Tim Duncan. His scoring is not that robust yet, 17.6, but I don't think you need to worry.
No, I don't think he's trying to win scoring titles.
Josh Smith. So the Hawks come out hot to match the Spurs.
Yeah, at his level, he's won championships. That's all you want now, is to win championship. All the individual awards, he has those. He doesn't really want to add any more of them. He just want to keep adding trophies.
Beautiful bounce from Parker to Duncan. Tony averaging just under 6 assists a game. Zaza fouled on the drive by Alberto.
Nice play, nice pick and roll. And what do you do when you got a guy that's 7 feet, Tim Duncan, can step out, and then when he drives it, he's so big. And you saw Josh Smith, a great shot blocker, but Tim Duncan went right at him, just moved the basketball and used his body to score that layup.
Meanwhile, Pop and Parker talk it over. Zaza at the line. Tonight's game is in HD and can be seen on the following channels. Dish Network, channel 370, channel 630-1 on DirecTV, and 876 on Comcast. If you're looking for the HD channel in your area, consult that local guide. See spectacular Fox high definition. 8-6. San Antonio with the advantage. Only one missed field goal attempt in this game. Parker from the baseline. Duncan there, faking Josh Smith, and slams it in. 6 early for Tim.
Smart basketball. They're just coasting right now, the Spurs, and I think the Hawks got to look at it. You can't trade baskets with this team because when they decide to lock down, then the pressure starts to build.
A timeout called by Atlanta. 8:52 in the first. The Spurs up 4. Back at Phillips Arena, San Antonio with the early 4-point advantage. Here's what's on tap. Brought to you by Bud Light. We'll hit the road tomorrow, facing the Heat in Miami. Coverage begins at 7:30 on FSN South. No TV Saturday at Minnesota, then back at it at Chicago next Tuesday. The next home game will be against the Milwaukee Bucks a week from Wednesday. That's what's on tap. Brought to you by Bud Light. Joe Johnson gets it into Zaza. Joe firing and hitting.
Beautiful shot.
Joe averaging 22.9, Eastern Conference All-Star a year ago.
And Bruce Bowen hanging all over him, and Joe still shot that with no rush. And Bruce did not affect his shot at all.
Michael Finley missing the three, but Duncan controls. Back up top to Parker, and the Spurs reset.
Not give up offensive rebounds and give them another chance.
Nice toss ahead by A.J. after the steal, and Marvin Williams slams it.
Good job by Marvin. Cutting this one out, and even on that defensive stance. Got his hands on Tony Parker's basketball off the dribble, and he's trying to split the double team.
Tim in the paint. Rebound Bowen. Josh Smith couldn't get it. Bowen has his first basket.
Somebody has to keep Bruce Bowen off the glass. Josh Smith trying to get the rebounds. You don't want to see a little guard come in there and grab it when you're working like Josh Smith has to work with the big man down in his lead.
Marvin active early. Took a couple of IVs before the ball game. Food poisoning. And he'll shoot around this morning. But at least here at the start, seems to be moving well. Here's Parker rainbowing it up and off. Alberto guides it home.
But you see their offense. When they run their offense, a guy always has an advantage. Two guys have to come to Tony Parker for his little floater, and he missed it. But that left a rebounding lane for Alberto to get an easy putback.
Josh Smith. Bowen feeds Finley, a three-point attempt. That's good.
He's been struggling with his shot. He looks pretty good tonight, Michael Finley.
Michael came in 37% overall, 29% from behind the arc, but was 7 of 8 against the Rockets in San Antonio's last game last Friday night. Joe fires. 17-10 San Antonio.
Beautiful play by Mike Woodson and the Hawks. A little pick-to-picker. Got Joe Johnson a nice open jump shot. He just missed it.
Pachulia watching Duncan feed Alberto. Beautiful cut underneath. 19-10 San Antonio.
Hawks got caught ball watching. When you're looking at the ball and looking at Tim Duncan, lost their man. And Alberto working that baseline, got an easy layup.
9 unanswered by San Antonio as Anthony Johnson buries a jumper.
And one thing for the fans out there watching the Spurs offense, they always have court balance. Never guys crowded up, everybody's moving and giving a lot of space.
Josh Smith with the block. Alberto claiming that should have been goaltending. And Anthony Johnson rebounds. Pachulia spinning, short. Duncan baseballs it ahead to Parker. Tony motors, and Josh Smith blocks it. That will be a goaltend.
But you love that hustle by Josh Smith. Coming back down, blocking that shot. And what that does is it'll have Tony Parker thinking, where is Josh Smith? It won't be just an easy layup. And let's look at this one, Bob. Did he or did he not goaltend this? Yeah, he went up through the net.
He got away with one that time.
Yes, he did.
Anthony Johnson feeds Joe, now to Josh in the corner. And a ballet move to go to the hole. Josh Smith with 4.
Woo! The kid is coming along great. Did you see that spin move in a tight situation? And finish.
Greg Popovich will stop the clock with 4:48 remaining in the opening quarter. Josh Smith coming off a career-high 38 in Milwaukee with a beauty in Atlanta. Spurs in for their only regular season visit. Will they do it back-to-back? It's time now for tonight's Herd Around the Cooler, brought to you by Gatorade. And Smitty, you list 4 teams what you think are at the top of the heap in terms of winning the title this year?
And this is different between who had the 4 best records. I think Phoenix Suns will be up there as far as the best record. But when you talk about the teams that have the best chance to win in San Antonio, have a chance to win an NBA championship, and yes, we have to say San Antonio. I think they're the leaders. Dallas Mavericks, I think this is their year. If they don't get it this year, I think their psyche and their confidence will be shot. The Boston Celtics, I think they just going to go on a run, and you never know when it will end. And the Detroit Pistons, they are built to win championship. Phoenix Suns is a team I think is regular season, but they're not built to win it at the end.
That's what's heard around the Gatorade Cooler. Tim Duncan, defended by Joe Johnson, spins off the pressure, puts it up and off and draws the foul. 2 changes for Atlanta as Al Horford, who committed that foul, is in, along with Josh Childress. Rookie Al Horford off to a great start, averaging double-figure rebounds at 10.6. Leads all rookies in that department and 12th overall in the NBA in rebounding. Now Timmy to the foul line. This has never been a strong suit for Duncan, dating back to his days at Wake Forest.
And, when you got a team like the San Antonio Spurs, you have to find one flaw, and that flaw is shooting free throws. These guys have struggled down to finish games, making free throws, and that's why they put so much on defense and getting stops. Because at the free throw line, these guys struggle, especially their best players, Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, kind of struggle at the free throw line. They could be better. Manu does an excellent job of shooting free throws, but Tim and Tony, that's who the ball is in their hands at the end of the games. We'd like them to be able to shoot better free throws.
Tim Duncan's 7th point. Matt Bonner has come in for Oberto. 22-14. The Spurs' biggest lead to date has been 9.
I guess you can't be perfect, Bob. You got to have something you can't do.
Now Horford going against Duncan. Al into the paint. Hooks it out. Down to 3 on the clock and a travel by Josh Smith.
Josh just shuffled his feet, got excited, saw that lane. He was ready to take it right down the middle and make something happen.
Here's Finley. Off the mark. Look at Horford run the floor after the rebound. Josh Smith. And draws the contact.
Matt Bonner tried to put his hand straight up like he didn't do anything, but he got the chest on Josh Smith, and I like Josh didn't settle. Continuing what he did in Milwaukee, driving it. Even Bonner, 2 or 3 feet off of him, he still drove the basketball. That's recognized that Matt Bonner, other guys slower feet, can't really stay in front of Josh Smith.
Josh is 74% foul shooter to date, averaging 19.4 points, 7 rebounds, leads the league in blocks, 5th in steals. Manu Ginóbili handing it over to Parker. Marvin goes out of the game, and we'll see when he's able to come back. Struggling after food poisoning earlier today. Ginóbili, beautiful bounce. Up goes Duncan. Count. No, it's going to be an offensive foul. So Tim Duncan watches his old pal Joey Crawford make a charging call.
It was interesting. I wanted to see the reaction on Tim. He did the smart thing, and it was the correct call by Joey Crawford. Just kind of looked at each other. Maybe let bygones be bygones.
You'll recall last year in the playoffs, there's the ejection of Tim Duncan off the bench by Joey Crawford that led to Crawford being disciplined by the NBA. Offensive foul goes against Joe Johnson. So the teams trade turnovers. Now San Antonio with former Hawk Jock Vaughn at the point.
Jock Vaughn getting it done. Been in the league a long time. Knows how to run a team. A great point guard. And his greatest advantage is he uses his height and speed to his advantage, not a disadvantage. He gets up and pressures the opposing team's point guard.
Matt Bonner drilling a 3. Spurs by 10. Joe over Ginóbili.
Is it a repeat, Bob, that we got to say, hey, Joe Johnson, you got to take over again to get this Hawks team going?
We say that a lot.
A lot.
Duncan A.J. doubled, and that drew the traveling violation.
And that was a perfect double team by A.J. And that's a hey, you don't go double when a guy looking right at you. Wait till you go into his move and his spin. When his back is to you, then you go double.
Joe Johnson carries it up, gives it to Josh Smith off his hands. Joe with 2, 1 on the shot clock. The 3 is short. And the shot clock violation awards the ball to San Antonio. Mike Woodson's ball club started hot, but the shots are getting a little tougher to come by as the Spurs get into it defensively.
And defensively, they're starting to pick it up. Offensively, they feel like they're still coasting, just running their offense. Tony Parker's not really pushing the pace, but defensively, they're starting to get into their guys, pressure guys, making them turn the basketball over.
Manu Ginóbili. And a blocking foul on Horford. That's number 2 on Al. Changes. Marvin Williams back in for the Hawks, and Josh Smith goes out.
I think the biggest key for us to watch, Bob, tonight is when Anthony Johnson finally comes out for a substitution, which Mike Woodson has to give him a little break. Who will run the point guard position for the Hawks against this pressure and defense by the Spurs and the point guards, Jock Vaughn and Tony Parker?
Sheldon Williams in for Atlanta, and Manu Ginóbili takes it all the way.
Look at Jock Vaughn. What he's doing is trying to wear down Anthony Johnson. And that's a good thing for Tony Parker. If he can wear down Anthony Johnson, then Tony Parker comes back in and goes right at the starting point guards after Jock Vaughn has wore him down with his defensive pressure.
Our Dodge drive of the game. Manu Ginóbili taking it strong to the bucket. Fond memories of Phillips. We'll refresh your memory what happened last year when Manu was here. Here's Sheldon. A.J. for 3. Rebound Oberto. Bruce Bowen travels.
Yep, guys just anxious. You got to plant, get set. It's better to slow down and try to beat the guy with quickness, but it's hard. When you see that opening, you want to get there.
This ball club doesn't turn it over very often, Steve. That's 5 first-quarter miscues. San Antonio second best in the league at just 13 turnovers a game. Tip to the corner, and Ginóbili wins the ball and triggers the San Antonio fast break. Again to the bucket, and again he rolls it in.
Just like a torpedo, he's coming right at you. And he takes angles very good, and his change of direction is similar to Barry Sanders in football. He stops on a dime, and he's just as fast going the opposite direction after he decides to change.
In and out for Marvin Williams. Josh Childress the rebound, and Oberto got him across the arm. We talked about last year, Manu Ginóbili had 40 points here at Phillips Arena and set a San Antonio franchise record, scoring 24 consecutive points over 2 quarters.
And we watched it, Bob. Yes, 40 is a great game, but scoring 24 consecutive baskets for your team, I mean, it was like a 1-on-5 show, Manu versus the Hawks.
And that lifted his lifetime average against the Hawks to 20.5. Childress with his first point of the proceedings. Oberto with 2 fouls goes out. And Francisco Elson comes in.
What's amazing about Ginóbili, when you look at the minutes he plays, averaging 20.5 against the Hawks only in 26 minutes.
And that's been his story this year. His season average right at 20 points a game. His minutes 28.9. He's the only player in the league at 18 or more points in less than 30 minutes. Manu launching off the mark. Sheldon Williams rebounds. Childress goes cross court to Joe Johnson.
I know Bonner's like, oh my God, I got Joe Johnson.
Down goes Ginóbili. Down goes Childress. Jock Vaughn and Elson pile on top of him. And it will be a jump at the Atlanta foul line. Josh Childress must have said, now wait a minute. I had the ball and they're diving on top of me. Why isn't it a foul?
Why isn't it a foul? You got to scream and yell and kick. Say, hey, what's going on, refs? Draw some attention. We're glad he recovered the basketball, Josh Childress. And this jump ball is big, even though Josh is going to win it. But who are you going to tip it to? And Marvin did a good job of shielding off Manu Ginóbili.
Joe to the hole. Nelson boards. 29-18 San Antonio. Shot clock is off. And that's going to be an offensive foul against San Antonio for an illegal screen. It's going to be on Elson.
Yeah, let's look at this play. Yep, gave AJ a little nudge and a little hip. Correct call.
So the Hawks get the last shot. Against Bruce Bowen. Anthony Johnson to Sheldon. Hooks it up and in at the buzzer.
Yes, I hope that gives Sheldon a little bit more confidence. Want to see him get going, Bob. Want to see him get into this rhythm, get into this rotation, and make a difference.
So the bucket for Sheldon pulls Atlanta within 9. The world champion San Antonio Spurs in Atlanta. And an impressive first quarter. San Antonio leads at 29-20. Atlanta Hawks basketball from Phillips Arena in Atlanta in spectacular high definition. Bob Rathbun, Steve Smith, and James Verrett. Happy to have you with us tonight. The world champs out-rebounded Atlanta 16-4 in the first quarter. Outscored the Hawks 6-1 in second chance points. Joe Johnson being defended by the ultimate defender. Bruce Bowen had but 4 in that opening quarter. Bruce Bowen, of course, all defensive first team 4 consecutive years. He won his matchup with Kobe a few days ago. In fact, he outscored Kobe Bryant in that game.
He did, and you know, he's my guy that I picked as a preseason Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's been coming in second 2 or 3 years, always on the first team, always guarding the best. I think he deserves to be looked at as maybe winning that award this year.
Joe to Sheldon. Anthony Johnson. And we've got a hand check on Jock Vaughn.
I think the job he did on Steve Nash in the playoffs was unreal. I mean, here's a guy that had to guard Steve Nash through picks after picks, and he was just harassing Steve Nash.
Marvin with 1 on the shot clock, and that's a violation. So that's the second shot clock violation. The Hawks have also taken 2 shots with the clock at 2 or 1. So it just gives you an indication of how stingy that San Antonio defense can be.
It is. I mean, when the guys have to recognize you gotta put the ball on the floor, make the pass, and move their bodies with the pass and some dribble penetration for more pass to get these guys moving. If not, they're gonna stand there and just pack it in.
Manu sizing up Marvin Williams. Elson loose ball. 3, 2 on the clock. Bonner has to go with it. Gets it back. And the Spurs will reset.
Offensive rebound by Bonner, a guy who shot an off-balance shot. You got to box him out.
Ginóbili fires over Childress and hits.
He had Childress in the blender. Off balance. Sized him up.
31-20 Spurs. Childress. Too strong off the glass. Ginóbili again. Good again. That's a 3. Mr. Phillips Arena nails another one.
You got to get in him. You got to put pressure on him, and you got to make him a driver, and guys got to help. But once he gets in this type of rhythm, somebody's got to take this situation and say, hey, I got to get a stop.
Out of bounds to Atlanta, and 10 on the shot clock. A brief rest for Josh Smith. Keep in mind, Josh Smith missed the Friday game against Seattle, missing with that injured left quad, and did not look like he was going to play in Milwaukee. Responds with 38 points in 35 minutes. Childress missed the jam, but he was fouled.
Good find by AJ, and Josh Childress did the right thing, go up strong. And I think right now the Hawks have to get a little bit more life, got to get into this game, and defensively got to show some more energy. I mean, right now there's no energy on the defensive end.
Stay tuned after tonight's game for Hawks Live. Join host Jerome Taranovich and Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins as they break down tonight's game and fill you in on all the news from around the NBA. Josh Childress, his second point of the game. Here's Mario West coming in. This is a key time now for the Hawks. Mario, the rookie out of Georgia Tech, coming in to just give Anthony Johnson some rest here. The Hawks are without their guards tonight. AC Law is out. Salim Stoudemire is out. Tyronn Lue is out. So Mario's going to be called on to play some very important minutes.
We keep an eye on AJ. The vet went 14 straight minutes, really. I mean, the whole first quarter and the first minute and 54 seconds of the second quarter. That's a lot for the vet.
And Ginóbili fouled on the drive by Sheldon Williams. Sheldon's first foul. And it will be out of bounds to San Antonio. Byron Scott, after the game on November the 9th, Spurs beat New Orleans. He said they don't take a night off. And I thought for a coach to say that was an ultimate compliment. Elson drills it. 36-22 San Antonio.
And this is where it's going to be tough for Josh Childress. He can handle the basketball. When you have a pesky little point guard, he just keeps you off rhythm.
Joe Johnson watches Mario West get his miss. Second opportunity for the Hawks. Sheldon goes down hard, but the beneficiary of the whistle. Matt Bonner's second foul.
Good job by Josh Childress, recognizing a double team and hitting Sheldon, cutting down the lane.
Hawks hit the road starting tomorrow night in Miami. Return home to face the Milwaukee Bucks Wednesday, November 28th at 7. For tickets, visit Hawks.com or call 1-800-4NBA-TIPS. Hawks really struggling at the foul line now, 4 of 9.
Yes, Sheldon. You got to get somebody with some life. Hope Mario West can give a spark plug.
36-23. Out of the corner, 3 for Ginóbili. Josh Smith bringing it down for Atlanta. And it's an offensive foul. Josh Smith with his first.
Little things. Jacques Vaughn gave up his body. Saw the Josh Smith coming. Usually a little guy wants to get out of the way. Stood there and took it. And that's where a play where Josh Smith has to come to a complete jump stop instead of leaving his body, committing himself and making the correct pass or a little jump shot right in the lane over Jacques Vaughn. Recognize, hey, Jacques Vaughn's not going to block your shot if you raise up and shoot a nice little jumper.
Tony kicks, Ginóbili shoots. 3 more for Manu. His second 3 of the quarter, and 12 points tonight. The Spurs stretch it out to 16. Bowen being dogged by Bruce Bowen, but Elson reached in, and he commits his 3rd foul. Manu Ginóbili back in Phillips and firing once again.
Obviously in San Antonio, to win a championship in 2003 was one of the highlights of my career, and waited 19 years to get it. and that was just a great team. And coming out watching these guys, but my heart lies here in Atlanta, where it all started at, and just got to pick up the momentum, get some momentum, and pick up the intensity to get back in this game.
What advice can you give a young Hawks team that's really trying to find their way in the NBA?
Well, you have to stay confident. You can't get too ahead of yourselves, and play within the system. Mike's put together a pretty good system. Just play within the system, play together, cut out all the bickering, and go out and play ball every night and have confidence and faith in one another, and things will happen good for you.
All right, thanks a lot. Kevin Willis, a Hawk and Spur. Great. Back to you guys, Bob and Steve.
Yes, they were teammates together, Mr. Smith.
Me and Kevin Willis, we'll always be linked. You know, Bob, we grew up together, same neighborhood, went to the same high school, went to the same university, Michigan State. Got traded for each other from Atlanta to Miami, and then won a championship in San Antonio. Now we live here in Atlanta.
Matt Bonner. Rebounded by Joe Johnson. Hawks 0 for 4 in the second quarter from the field. Josh Smith leaves that one short. Childress. Hawks have another opportunity as Mario West gives to Josh Smith, and he goes down. A foul coming on Bruce Bowen.
They caught Bruce not with his hands, with his feet, tripping.
During the finals last summer, had a son born during that championship run against Cleveland. Tomorrow night we'll be down in Miami on FSN South in HD. 7:30 tomorrow night, the Hawks and the Heat. Miami Ball Clubs has struggled out of the gate, but they've got D. Wade back.
D. Wade is coming back, Bob, and he's looking pretty good. We get a chance to see D. Wade up and close, and we'll get a chance to tell the people where he's at. You know, we're the gurus.
Under Steve Smith's microscope tomorrow night. Parker going up, fouled by Mario West. And that will send Tony to the line. Parker had a relatively quiet offseason.
I would say so. Marrying Eva in Paris. Did you see the spread, the wedding?
I noticed that you were not on the invitee list.
Not at all. Had to go do my basketball camp.
But you would have been there.
I would have been there. A little bit too far, but you know, unbelievable to get a chance to see Tony Parker. I saw him grow from being a kid, coming over to my house in San Antonio, watching my kids, to now winning championships, married, playing extremely well. The young fella's all grown up.
Joe into the alley. Anthony Johnson back in. Josh Smith goes up short. Rebound Bonner. Josh is now 2 for 6. Tony Parker up and in. 8 points for Tony. 43-25. Spurs by 18. And Mike Woodson's going to stop the clock with 7:05 to go in the second quarter. Everything going San Antonio's way. Parker and Duncan talk it over as Tony is able to get that one past the outstretched fingertips of Josh Childress. By the Georgia Lottery, by Aaron's, by UPS, and by Delta.
Welcome back to Atlanta Hawks basketball. 7:05 to go in the first half, and the Hawks have a long way to go to get back in this game. Coming up at the Georgia Lottery at the half, Dominique Wilkins will tell us what Atlanta has to do to get back in this, because the Spurs are looking like defending champs tonight. He will also tell us how to slow down Shaquille O'Neal tomorrow night. That and more on the Georgia Lottery at the half. Now back over to Bob and Steve.
Thank you very much, Jerome. Yes, it has been a clinic here by the Spurs in the first half.
So far for the Spurs, they're just going about their business. I think the Hawks have to do something to stop this train, because it's getting a chance to rev up and it's getting going. I think right now the Hawks have to show some enthusiasm, some discipline. Everybody taking good shots and playing hard now, and Childress did a good job. Those little scrappy offensive rebounds they're going to have to start doing.
That's the first field goal for the Hawks here in the second quarter. 43-27. Tony Parker against the rookie Al Horford. The reversal. Oh, and a beauty.
Wow. Did you see that? Ooh. I didn't think he had enough left.
Josh Smith powers it up and off. Missed the tip. Rebound Childress. Scraps again for a follow.
Somebody has to do what Childress is doing. The little things.
45-29 San Antonio. This high archer does not drop, but Bonner fights for the rebound.
Got to get some stops. Good job, AJ.
Archer spins. There's Bowen in the corner. Bruce will take it up. And Josh definitely changed that shot. Here's Joe looking for an opening. He'll drive it to score it.
Did a good job of freezing Tim Duncan. Showing shot at that line. Made Tim step up a little bit. Went around him. And when he saw Tony Parker, you know he had a chance to get a pretty good layup over the smaller defender.
45-31. Bonner off the pick and roll. In and out. Horford boards. Gives to AJ. Hawks trying to put a little run together here. It's 6-2 currently. Anthony Johnson. And we've got Josh Smith nailing Bruce Bowen for an offensive foul.
And Bruce sold that offensive foul with a little bit of flop. Yes, he got hit, but he went down hard to put the onus on the referee to try to make a call, and they did.
So Josh will come out of the game in favor of Marvin Williams. Josh, 15 minutes, 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 of 8 shooting.
Well, Bob, when you look at this lineup, the Spurs have went small, and I think they're dangerous. When they have a lead like this and they just start going to Tim Duncan, and now you're going to have a lot of room for them to make cuts, even though that was a turnover. Where do you double from with all these smalls?
Al Horford. This is the one thing about Al that's been so impressive the first few weeks of the season, his ability to run the floor.
And run the court well and finish. And I like the little excitement he has, and you see Coach Popovich understanding momentum. Let's get a timeout because the crowd is getting into it, and that's what the Hawks have to do. But Al, like you said, runs the court extremely well for a big.
45-33. The Spurs lead has been sliced to 12. At 45-33. The entire ball club was together yesterday at Hudson's Grill in Brookhaven Station here in Atlanta, partnering with the Children's Restoration Network to tip off the holiday season. Approximately 75 boys from 2 area group homes, Turning Point and Potter's House for Children, were the beneficiaries of the great Thanksgiving dinner, and there are the food servers and the beverage men.
That's
all
what
the
it's all
players
about.
and coaches were out yesterday. Great host in Hudson Grill.
That's what it's about, though.
Tony Shaw, the general manager, put on quite the affair, and we were happy to be a part of that yesterday.
Helping others. That's what we all have to do.
And great time of year, Smitty. The holidays kicking in this week. Thanksgiving on Thursday, and a chance for all of us to count our many blessings.
You're right. I have a house full, Bob. I'm going to have to come stay with you.
Here's Duncan turning and hitting. The big fundamental has 9. Spurs go back up 14.
One of the most unselfish superstars I've ever been around. Got a chance to play with him for 2 years. Doesn't really care about stats. Just wants to win. Always about helping his teammates.
Blocked by Finley. Marvin Williams again. And fouled this time. Michael Finley's first. Here's tonight's AT&T trivia question. We know Tony Parker was the finals MVP last year, and Dirk was the seasonal MVP. So who is the last player to be named regular season and finals MVP in the same season?
I wonder who that guy is.
Here's Marvin rolling in the free throw. Marvin now with 6. 47-35.
This is that small lineup. Look at the spacing that the Spurs have. And look how they rotate the basketball.
Tony Parker has 13. And you made that point earlier, Steve. Floor balance for San Antonio.
Floor balance, floor spacing, and everybody can shoot the three. Hard to guard them.
8 points for Marvin. 50-37 Spurs. Tony Parker dumping it into Duncan. The offense going through the big man, and Parker gets the lay-in.
And how do you stop that? Because of the cut, Marvin tried to help, but he had to come from the opposite three-point line to try to get that, any kind of rhythm, defensive intensity against Tony Parker, but he just had to come from too far of a range to get any chance to get it blocked.
It is with surgical precision that the Spurs run their offense. Parker just explodes to the hole. Tony with 17 in the first half.
And you said, hey, Tony was a little quiet in that first quarter. You woke him up, Bob. He's up now.
He's got 13 this period. Horford. And Duncan with the foul. And a look of disbelief.
Let's look at this play, Spurs, when we talk about ball movement. Look what all the guys are spaced around that three-point line and gives that guy, the big fundamental, a lot of room. And then when you side the double, look at their ball movement with the pass, not the dribble. And an easy look for Tony Parker out of the corner.
Horford to the line. And he misses the first of two. Our AT&T trivia question once again. Last player to be named the regular season and finals MVP in the same season. None other than Mr. Tim Duncan in the 2003 championship season.
Boy, was that a special year, Bob. I got a chance to watch him just go off in the regular season and then just destroy the Nets in the championship.
And like most teams, most great teams, all the planning and preparation that goes into this type of a performance, it ends up looking very easy, very methodical, nothing flashy.
Nothing flashy.
Joe out to Anthony Johnson, now Marvin Williams, 4-2. Marvin hitting double figures, Spurs by 16.
Beautiful offensive possession by the Hawks. The ball moved, spacing, and everybody touched it.
Parker again, good again. His ability to drive the basketball is just amazing.
I mean, he can get to that basket, and for a while, a couple years ago, he was leading all players in points in the paint from a point guard position.
Duncan's third foul. Tony has scored San Antonio's last 11.
And look, and Tony Parker, his jump shot's getting better and better. Really didn't have a jump shot when he first came into this league, but he's working on it. And if he can keep doing this, pull up and pop, and then shoot the three, with his ability to get to the basket, and with all these great players with the spacing, how can you guard him?
Early in his career, Smitty, teams would go under on the pick and rolls and let Parker shoot. Not anymore.
And you're right, Bob. And I played with him that rookie year. And what team, like you said, will go under, and he will keep going at him and still try to attack him. And now teams got to go over the pick and roll. And what do you do if he's knocking down that shot and getting to the basket? You just need team defense to stop guys like that.
2 free throws for Joe. He's got 8. Mr. Parker has 21 in the first half. In the finals last year against Cleveland, 24.5 points on 56% shooting. Marvin Williams the foul. Manu Ginóbili with 12 points here in this first half.
And this is a luxury. Now Tim Duncan, your anchor, really is just resting. You don't need him to score. You don't really need him to play now. Now you get other guys a lot of playing time.
Marvin Williams up to reject Alberto.
You like that by Marvin. Go get it.
Joe. He's struggling with his shot. 3 for 11 in this first half. Parker, a little off balance, but there's Ginóbili. Flip it back up.
He tried to quick it.
Joe can't shake Tony. Now drives it, jumps it down to Pachulia, and he'll shoot 2. Finley the foul.
Nice play by Joe Johnson. Tony Parker anticipated him going around his back, but he still was strong enough to get the basketball and make a play for somebody else.
Zaza to the line. Here are tonight's Home Depot points in the paint. Spurs plus 14 in that category. 18.8 left, and Pachulia has his 3rd point of the night. Mario West in for Joe Johnson. Ime Udoka's in for San Antonio.
And about when you look at the Spurs and they pick up guys in the offseason, doesn't this guy Ime just fit their mold? The way he played in Portland, and I knew the young kid when he's at Portland State. Got a chance to see him develop. And I'm happy for him to get a chance to play in this league, and now he's with the Spurs. I told him, hey, you got a chance to get your ring.
He hit the jackpot.
Yes, he did.
And nails a 3 right on cue. 61 points in the first half for San Antonio. 2 seconds. Josh lets it fly, and that's the first half here at Phillips Arena. The world champion Spurs at their best, offensively and defensively. A special performance as they have built a big halftime advantage. At the break in Atlanta, it's San Antonio 61 and the Hawks 44.
Well, they didn't do that one at all.
D-minus.
When you look at a situation where Manu and Tony got point-blank layups, you got to say with the Hawks, definitely did a poor job with that. Beat them with the pass, and I think, when you look at it as a situation, the Hawks moved it around, not enough. They tried to move it around, but I think they were so much back on their heels defensively, they never could get into a rhythm. And keeping them off the offensive rebounds, the Hawks did a great job in that because there was no missed field goals from the Spurs because they got all layups.
It was all San Antonio in that first half. Anthony Johnson to Joe Johnson. Josh Smith, Zaza Pachulia, Marvin Williams out there for the Hawks. Josh takes that long 3 and misses it. Rebound in the backcourt to Josh Smith. Josh will drive it, dish it, and Pachulia misses. Duncan rebounds.
Zaza trying to draw the contact instead of just going up and making an easy layup. Tim Duncan was letting him have that one. Look at that luxury by the Spurs. Finley had nothing. Just throw it back to the big fundamental. And nope, I almost got a chance to say it. Doom, off the glass. But an offensive rebound on a rare miss. You can't let them get a second chance to run their offense.
Finley bounce down to Duncan. He's missed 2, and the Hawks come the other way with Anthony Johnson. Josh Smith up and off, tipped out to Marvin.
Good job by Marvin. Keeping that possession live.
Marvin looking good. That's 12 for Williams. And we mentioned it earlier. Bears repeating if you're just joining us tonight. Marvin, food poisoning earlier today on the trainer's table, taking a pregame IV to get the fluids back. And Marvin has gone out there and played 19 minutes so far. Duncan challenges Josh Smith and loses. Young Josh comes up with the block, the league leader in that category.
Good block.
Zaza couldn't connect.
I think this is the time for the Hawks. You got to make your run right now. The Spurs not really in sync right now offensively, missing a lot of shots.
And Parker Hit on the arm by Anthony Johnson, AJ's first. Mike Woodson, his guard cord depleted tonight without Lou, Stoudemire, and Law. And Anthony Johnson has played only 2 games this season, being asked to chase Tony Parker over.
I mean, that's a tough task. And unfortunately for the Hawks, Josh Smith has picked up another foul.
Number 3 on Josh.
Ball watching again.
Oberto lays it in.
Just love this matchup. Offense versus defense. Joe versus Bruce.
Pachulia banging bodies, too strong off the glass. And Finley rebounds. Michael Finley, a very deep 3, and he hits it.
Wow. It was around the wings of the Hawks. That blue tip. He shot that one from a long way.
20-point lead for the Spurs. Pachulia. 6 for Zaza. One of the many things that makes San Antonio special, their general manager, R.C. Buford. This is the best-run organization in pro sports, certainly in our league, and unmatched to run of success when you talk about winning percentage and what they've done since Duncan arrived. Oberto going inside. I always felt like, Smitty, that San Antonio was a step ahead of everybody when it came to the international game. We'll talk more about that after the timeout. 8:25 to go, third quarter. San Antonio continues to pour it on. It's the Spurs 68 and the Hawks 48 on FSN South. Time for tonight's Kia Atlanta South surprising moment of the game. Surprising in the fact that Marvin Williams was able to tee it up tonight.
Yeah, we didn't think he was going to get a chance to go with the food poisoning. I love what Marvin did. It showed his teammates, hey, I'm with you guys. And you know what? He's putting together a pretty big-time performance with a guy who's, a little bit under the weather. Shooting the ball as well. I mean, Woody's doing a good job of spotting his minutes in and out. But 5 of 10, 12 points, 2 rebounds. Fine job from Marvin.
Marvin's increased his scoring each year in the league. This is his 3rd season. He was 8.5 as a rookie, up to 13 last year. 16.9 so far this year. The shooting percentage has risen along with the points.
Taking good shot, quality shots. All of them in rhythm and at his pace.
Al Horford giving it to Joe. 3 on the shot clock. Josh Smith over Duncan. And over the glass to San Antonio. Josh Smith, and I think it's one of the maddening things of youth. How one night in Milwaukee, of course it's a different defense and players, but that aside, how you can have 38 one night and hardly miss a shot, and then the next night turn around and shoot 2 for 11.
Well, the biggest thing is I think he's not doing what he did against Milwaukee. Is dry to basketball. The Spurs defense, yeah, much better than Milwaukee, but you got to keep attacking. Good things happen when you keep driving it.
And that's the mark of the Spurs. They take great shots all the time. Joe trying to get it rolling. Hits one from the baseline. A very quiet 10 for Joe. 68-50. What are their practices like, Steve?
Oh, I mean, let me tell you, so much detail. Situation just to shoot around. Every guy has to name the guy he's guarding and tell the guy's tendencies, his weakness, his advantages.
Anthony Johnson fouling Tony Parker.
Go ahead. That's a hard one. AJ took that one. Welcome to the NBA.
So Tony shakes it off and heads to the foul line. You mentioned the practices for San Antonio and how you are quizzed on your opponent. Well, Tony Parker hitting the free throw. Tonight's game in HD can be seen on the following channels: 370 on Dish, 630-1 DirecTV, and Comcast channel 876. Let's check the local listings for your HD channel where available.
I mean, Bob, they go over and over in plays, not for just the starters, but for everybody on that team to understand how we're playing it. And if this situation works, what we're going to go to plan B. And it's drilled and drilled and a lot of film work.
Josh Smith to the hole. That's 9 for Josh, 70-52. So when you're with the Spurs, sort of like being back in school.
I mean, you got to be ready.
Finley for 3. Anthony Johnson goes to Joe, to the trailing Josh Smith. Up short. Parker spins it over to Ginóbili, who reverses and scores.
That was a beautiful play. Got everybody flying by, jumping, and just laid it off to his backcourt partner, Manu.
Josh Smith puts up another wild shot, but bailed out on the whistle. Foul on Alberto.
Look at this, Bob. AJ did a good job of cutting him off. But look at his balance to go up, get Joe up, then here comes flying Josh. And Manu got Horford up.
It's our delivery of the game, brought to you by UPS.
That was nice. Woo! That was 2 on 5. And they got it done.
Josh Smith headed to the free throw line. Childress in, and Marvin Williams out. Josh Smith moving up on the all-time Atlanta career block shot list. Now number 5. Fourth on that list is Danny Roundfield. All-time block shot leader in Atlanta, Tree Rollins. It'll take Josh a while to catch Tree. He had over 2,000 blocks. 72-54.
In his young career, he has a chance.
Fastest in terms of his age to 500 blocks. Parker. Boy, Tony is just having a night. 25. 2 off his season high and 8 assists.
I mean, AJ did the right thing. In the past, you give him a step, but now he's shooting jump shots where you got to get up. I mean, what can you do?
Al Horford. First jumper of the night that Horford's knocked down. Al with 5. 74-56. Deflected, but Ginóbili controls. Duncan touches it to Alberto for the lay-in.
I mean, Tim Duncan, as far as stats, you look at it, haven't done much, you know, just a real slow night. But his presence and him being unselfish, he's gearing up for the second half. He's going to play now in the first half, but not worrying about his points right now.
Nothing for Childress. Alberto's got it. Now Finley. Parker, good again.
He is putting on a one-man layup drill.
Layup after layup after layup. Tony Parker with 27. And the San Antonio lead goes to 22. 6 San Antonio. This is the Hawks' 40th year in Atlanta. And one major piece of the history of this franchise, they've always had great shot blockers come through here. Young Josh Smith creeping up on the list. The next man in his sights is Dan Roundfield.
He is walking him down.
John Koncak, number 3 on the list, was 747.
He did it without jumping.
And Dikembe Mutombo with over 1,000 in his Atlanta tenure. Man does not fly.
Does not fly in the house.
And the all-time leader, Tree Rollins, 2,283.
Tree, whoa, look how high he got up.
Got the doctor twice.
Going to get it. Josh Smith leading the whole entire league from basically a small forward position.
He and Camby were 1-2 last year.
That's incredible.
Horford into the paint. Strong move by the rookie.
Has a good feel.
78-58. John Vaughn in the ball game now for Tony Parker. Here's Ginóbili. Finley for three. Tim got a hand on it. Ginóbili going for the steal, couldn't get it. Now Mario West for Atlanta.
Basically tackled.
Nothing for Horford, nothing for Horford. Jump ball. I mean, Duncan just had it measured. Kept his feet, was just waiting for Al to jump.
That's tough for Al. Didn't have too much real estate underneath the basket. Had three defenders, Tim, Bonner, and the basket because he was right under, and it was hard for him to try to get it up. And Tim Duncan being 7 feet, which he doesn't like to be called 7-footer. It's tough.
Tap was stolen by Mr. Duncan, so Atlanta will have the basketball inside court.
Tim Duncan had to steal a jump ball.
What have we come to?
I know. Against the rookie. Well, Spurs showing a little zone.
Josh Smith rolls it over the rim, and I believe Josh committed the foul. Yes, that's number 4 on Josh Smith.
House foul, Josh Smith. It's 4. Team 4.
When you look at it right now, the Hawks have to try to speed this game up in some kind of way.
Matt Bonner on the deck. Here's Vaughn getting a shot. That's a 2 that's no good. Joe Johnson has been just a workhorse since coming to the Hawks from Phoenix. Turns it over here. Duncan gets it back. Now to Vaughn. And a Mario West foul. His second.
Tough call for Mario.
That puts the Hawks over the limit.
Trying to get up and just defend, and Joey Crawford caught him. And they had a pretty good possession, trying to speed the Spurs up, getting their hand on some deflection, but now they get the chance to go to the free throw line.
Jack Vaughn, a couple of tours of duty with the Hawks. 2-for-1 Tuesdays are back at the Highlight Factory. Purchase 2-for-1 tickets in select locations when the Hawks battled the Detroit Pistons on Tuesday, December 4th. For tickets, visit Hawks.com or call 1-800-4NBA-TICKS. Uncle Finley, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker on the San Antonio bench. Udoka back in. Elson back in. Jack Vaughn was last year in the 03-04 season, and not one player is on the Hawks team that played with Jack Vaughn that season.
That was just a couple of years ago, really. Clean house.
(80-58). Childress loads up. Mario West crashing to get the offensive board. Two and a half remaining. Third quarter. AJ for 3. Around the rim and out. And Ginóbili's got the rebound. Foul on Mario West.
Mario West.
Mario West is doing a good job of trying to be aggressive, trying to pick up the intensity. But just caught him with his hands in the cookie basket a little bit too much. Got to keep his hands off.
Manu Ginóbili, now 30 years old. And the worldwide reach of the NBA and how popular our game is around the world. As you know, coming from Argentina, a soccer nation, but here is the most popular athlete in the country.
And for good reason. He's won championships on an international level. Got a chance to beat Team USA. He's done it all.
Childress jumps it out to Mario. And he's fouled. John Vaughn. Nope. Foul's going to be on Udoka. And that will send Mario West to the line. I'd like to welcome everyone watching Coast to Coast on NBA TV tonight. Here's a great story. Mario West. He was a walk-on at Georgia Tech from the Atlanta suburb of Douglasville, Georgia. Made a name for himself under Paul Hewitt with the Yellow Jackets and played summer league ball for the Hawks. Was the last man taken to the summer league team out in Salt Lake City and made the ball club in camp. And Mario West is a great example. You've got a dream to play in the NBA. Don't give up on that dream.
Not at all. And he works very hard.
And Mario getting physical with Ginóbili. And that's his fourth foul.
I mean, you look at it, Ginóbili cuts so hard, and Mario, all he's trying to do is beat him to the spot and use his strength. But, you know, the vet and the crafty player by Manu is going to get the benefit of that call. I think Mario West has to probably keep his hands off on him. The refs are looking at him, and they don't know Mario's style yet. You know, guys like Bruce Bowen can get away with it because they see it night in and night out. And as referees get used to Mario, he'll be able to get away from some of those plays.
Let's send it over to James Verrett.
Well, a little bit to add on with Mario West. Before he made the team, he was staying at the Omni Hotel. They let him stay there a little while longer right after he made the team. And instead of moving into, you know, a more lavish apartment or a condo, he says he's going back home to stay in his old room at home in Douglasville.
Nothing wrong with that, James. I'll tell you what. 3 hots and a cot. That'll work. Mario to the bucket.
You gotta love it. I love watching this kid play, the intensity, and not too many people can stay in front of Manu Ginóbili in the open court. Not only did he stay in front of him, he got a chance to steal the ball and take it coast to coast and get himself a layup.
And he comes up with a steal.
Mario West, love it, yes. Jump on that bandwagon, Hawks. He's showing some intensity.
A timeout with 1:03 to go, called by the Spurs. And then a night where the Hawks have struggled from start to finish. The 15th man on the roster injects a little life.
Yes, look at Mario. Just determination, desire. Just want to play hard. Just play hard and good things will happen.
Got his management degree at Georgia Tech. You see him get up in the air. Last year, the Final Four was here in Atlanta, and Mario West won the slam dunk competition here. He beat Bruce Petway from Michigan to win that dunk contest. So he can get up in the air.
Yes, he can. I mean, that dunk right there, he just laid it in. You know, don't want to get too fancy when you're trying to make yourself on the ball club, but I've seen him go way high at Georgia Tech, and like you said in that dunk contest, everybody picked Petway from Michigan to win. But Mario West beat out Petway, who everybody thought was going to win it.
It's a great story. There's no doubt about it. Mario West out of Douglasville, Georgia, in the NBA. We're going to make it our forward edge of your seat play.
Look at this defensive stop and the presence to stay in front of a guy, the herky-jerky Manu, but then push it. Look at the strength. I mean, he could have been a linebacker, a D-back. Mario West can do anything athletic. Great body, and look at this steal. You gotta love the intensity from Mario West.
.103 remaining in this third quarter. San Antonio still comfortably ahead. It does not matter the lead. Coach Popovich is going to demand intensity and perfection.
He is, and he wants you to play the right way and want these guys to understand, hey, you just don't take off plays. You don't take off nights. You play the basketball game the right way for 48 minutes.
It's interesting, of course, and this is a story that's gotten a lot of play and will, of course, when the playoffs begin next year. San Antonio with its 4 championships, but they haven't been able to go back-to-back. That's the challenge for this team this year.
You got to find some kind of challenge, but you get 4 rings and people say you haven't went back-to-back. I'll take them every other year.
Me too. Only the Celtics with 16, the Lakers with 14, and the Bulls with 6 have more championships than the San Antonio Spurs. 83-63, a minute to go in the third quarter. John Vaughn to Matt Bonner, the pride of New Hampshire. Whole state rooting for him. Here's Elson, up and off. Bonner kept alive, but Mario West rebounds. And it comes to Anthony Johnson.
Elson's doing a good job keeping Horford out that paint.
Tough inside, and now Horford scores.
But it's hard because the kid, when he wants to get down there and get dirty, he is strong.
Now we've got a whistle, and Rodney Mott has discovered an error in the shot clock. Here's a look at Al through the double team.
Making his way, creating space. A nice little baby jump hook he has. He doesn't extend it, he keeps it compact, and he goes up strong.
3rd overall pick in the draft. As we mentioned earlier, he's been a big rebounder with 15 against the Suns. He's been in double figures in rebounding 6 different times for the Hawks, and has led the team in rebounding 7 different occasions. He had 10 boards in his debut. It was the most for a Hawk rookie in 15 years. And he's atop the Heat by a wide margin among NBA rookies.
He is. I mean, he's the guy in this draft that's slated to do the dirty work. And you look at it, there's not a guy close. But he's not a banger. I don't think he'll be able to catch him. And the way Al Horford plays and is relentless, I think it's fair to say he'll probably win that rebounding rookie. Best rebounder as a rookie.
Ginóbili behind the back in the paint, gets rid of it to an open John Vaughn.
Good contest by Mario West.
Anthony Johnson with the heave from 3/4 court, and the third quarter is in the books. Hawks with a little bit of a spurt there, 7-1 to end the period, but still a big uphill battle. We played 3, San Antonio 83 and Atlanta 65. Champion, the San Antonio Spurs tonight at Phillips Arena. And quite the challenge. Hawks depleted in the guard ranks with Lou, Stoudemire, and Law out. And San Antonio ran its offense to perfection. Tony Parker spectacular with a 17-point second quarter. And the Spurs have a huge lead on Josh Smith and the Hawks, 83-65, as we begin the fourth quarter. Bob Rathbun, Steve Smith, James Verrett, with Dominique Wilkins and Jerome Jaranovich here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Spurs with the basketball as we play the final 12.
Gotta try to make a run the Hawks early. Can't let this be a grinded out game because of the lead of the Spurs. It'd be impossible to come out. You gotta get going right now if you're the Hawks.
And Josh Childress goes to work. Elson tried to take the charge, no whistle. And Josh with 9.
I don't like when big 7-footers try to take a charge on the guard. Got to go up and try to get it blocked.
Speaking from experience. Here's Mario West, number 5. Here's Josh. Moment ago.
Chill, go right at him. Big guy taking a charge.
Ginóbili getting it back and fouled again. And that's going to be on Mario, and he's fouled out of the game. Fans don't like this one. You hear the boos. They love the energy that Mario brought tonight.
I do too. I'm clapping too because the kid played hard. People appreciate people who go out and play hard.
Ginóbili bounced it off his leg out of bounds. 83-67. Horford out of the double. Marvin shooting, hitting.
There we go.
Marvin Williams with 14. The Hawks trying to make a game of it.
Crowd getting into it. They like to hustle.
83-69 San Antonio.
You know, you can't just wake up when you get down like this. You got to bring this early in the game, but you still have time.
Trying to make this move against the second unit. Udoka steps in the pocket and misses. Rebound Atlanta. Ginóbili knocks it away. And in the hands of Atlanta Spirit's co-owner, Michael Giron Jr., sitting next to Dad tonight. Made a nice catch. Michael's got good hands.
Got good hands over there. Saved his dad.
I know Michael Sr. appreciates that.
Yeah. You see Popovich going right back to Tony Parker. Feel the momentum is changing just a little in the Hawks' favor.
Al Horford up and off. And Tony back in there, handling it at the point, as you mentioned. Parker's been spectacular. Ginóbili, nothing there. Parker at 6. Ginóbili, pass to the corner, and Udoka misses. Marvin the rebound. Lost the dribble. Nelson takes it back. He went behind his back, and it cost him. Trying to gain control of the ball and his balance. Spurs get another chance at it as Parker ends up with Horford in a mismatch in the corner.
Gotta help him.
And Tony's got that down. Spurs wanted a goaltend, no whistle.
It looked close. It looked like he got it off the glass.
Joe up and in. A dozen for Joe Johnson. And Mr. Popovich is getting a little concerned.
I think number 21 will be coming back in. The Spurs don't score on this possession, and the Hawks score.
13-1, Atlanta run.
Listen to this crowd appreciating these Hawks trying to come back. Yes.
Horford with the block and Marvin the rebound. Now Anthony Johnson gives to Marvin. Stop and pop. Rebound Udoka. Now to Parker. 8.5 to play. AJ goes down. Loose ball. Parker's got it. Tony driving. Nothing. To the corner. Udoka 3. No. Rebound Horford. He gets it out to Anthony Johnson. AJ missed the jam. Horford runs it down, and he can't handle it.
Wow. Ooh, if you could have put that one down, AJ, you cut it to 10.
And did all the hard work to get there. A timeout with 8:08 to go in the ball game, and the Hawks on the comeback trail. Could have used that too, that's for sure. Back after this. Around the hustle of Mario West. Time for tonight's Advance Auto Parts best performance of the game. He's fouled out of the contest. He scored only 5, but Mario West turned the attitude around.
He did, Bob, and you know what? Like you say, he's already fouled out, but he's the reason he got these other Hawks to start to show some life. Mario West, and like we all say, we give him best performance just because of his attitude and his energy and his approach to this game. You keep playing hard at all times.
A 13-1 run sparked by the rookie. And it has gotten Mr. Duncan back in the ball game.
And Mr. Bourne and
yes.
Mr. Finley.
A lot of familiar faces came back. 83-71. But sometimes, Mr. Smith, even the best have a hard time turning the switch back on. Parker down to 3 seconds. Tony leans in and banks home an impossible shot.
Wow. Hawks did everything right. Al Horford got switched out on Tony, didn't go for a pump fake. Tony trying to draw the foul, stayed down. He just made a miracle shot.
New season high for Tony Parker with 29. Joe trying to get him back. Drives in, arcs it up, and over. Duncan good. 14 for Joe Johnson, 85-73.
I think Joe has to be very, very aggressive right now. He has to get the better of Bruce Bowen in this matchup. Right now, if the Hawks gonna have a chance.
Shot clock at 10. And again, it's Tony Parker. Not this time. Horford boards over to Joe. Boy, just the psychological boost it would give the Hawks to get this thing down to 10 or maybe 9 on a 3. Joe, got it.
Joe Johnson, he did the correct thing against Bruce Bowen. You don't want to play with him out on the perimeter. You want to get him down on that box and use your strength.
85-75. Crowd screaming defense. 17,025 at Phillips tonight. And a kick resets the shot clock to 14. Josh Smith is in, and Anthony Johnson exits.
You know, right here, this is Bruce Bowen's advantage. But now you get down here, his strength, Joe Johnson, now is his advantage. Joe has to keep going to that until a double team comes, trust his teammates, and keep being aggressive.
Finley firing. Michael Finley with 10. 12 points, San Antonio lead.
The biggest key right now, how much do the Hawks have left to keep going at the Spurs who have been resting? They're starting 5. That's going to be a key to watch. To how much gas do they have left to keep this going?
Parker, that's what he does so well. Fourth quarter, taking it right to the hole. Timeout Atlanta. 31 for Tony Parker. His quickness in the blink of an eye. Latest I heard this afternoon, Stephon Marbury back in the starting lineup for the Knicks.
Back in the starting lineup. What do you know?
Here's a guy that's in the starting lineup every night, and he has had a magnificent run in this one. 31 points for Tony Parker.
Layup after layup after layup.
Ron Olisiak checking in at the table, and here we go. Spurs set up the pressure. Childress effectively operating at the point. Josh Smith, though, bringing it up. Bruce Bowen banging into Josh Smith, being the pest. He's good at that.
He's a pest. This is where Joe, his strength, got to take over.
Oh, what a shot. Joe Johnson out of the corner. 8 points in the fourth, a beautiful fade, 89-77.
When all fails, go down to this guy.
Duncan spinning on the rookie and scoring. Josh Smith a little late.
A little late, but Josh almost got there, but that just shows Tim Duncan his ability. Took his time, a quick spin. Got Al Horford off balance.
Duncan with 11. Horford trying to get him back. Second opportunity with Duncan there, scores it. Good tough 2 for Horford.
That kid can score.
Now Horford tonight off the bench with 11 points, 8 rebounds.
In tight situations, he just comes up with baskets. His strength.
He knows his way around in that paint.
See the Hawks go to him just a little bit more. Does a good job of scoring against bigger guys.
Finley to Bowen. Baseline runner doesn't go. Rebound Josh Smith. The Hawks are running. Josh bounce across. Throws it away. Thought he was hit on the arm, but no whistle.
I thought he was too. I think Bruce Bowen got him on his arm coming back. Yeah, he did, but I don't know if you can say that affected the ball going out. It should have been a foul, but it wasn't off the Spurs.
Parker. Second opportunity. Tony calls the play. 3:50 left in the game. Duncan's pass out of the double team is picked off by Marvin Williams. 16 for Marvin. 91-81.
Well, I'm looking at Popovich. He's called 4-down left to give Tim Duncan a lot of room on that post.
Before the shot, the foul on Horford is his third.
And what I mean by lift, Bob, is you get all your players above the three-point line and give your MVP player a chance to work by himself.
Timeout at Phillips with 3:26 to play. 26 remaining here in this fourth quarter. And as you take a look at the balance of this ball game, it has really been the Tony Parker show.
It has. I mean, they have some great players. Manu had a run, but it's been Tony Parker getting into the paint of the Atlanta Hawks, scoring baskets after basket. Hawks had a little run, and he came right back in where he left off because he's fresh and he's good. Get into that paint. He's causing trouble for the Hawks.
And such a quickness advantage.
It is. I mean, I have to take my hat off to Anthony Johnson, a guy who's played a whole bunch of minutes and trying to stay in front of Tony Parker. Done a decent job, but when these guys get rolling, it's a situation where it's hard. I mean, for AJ, doesn't really have a backup point guard tonight, trying to do a makeshift with Josh Childress and other guys. AJ's done a pretty good job, but that just shows you how good Tony Parker is.
Here's Anthony back out there for the Hawks with 3:25 to play. Tim Duncan puts it up short, but popped out to Parker.
Oh, Berto, those little things, he just knocked it back out to his teammates for another chance at a go at it.
A real blue-collar worker, the third-year man from Argentina. Duncan goes in on Horford, gets the whistle, and will shoot two. I thought Tim might settle for the jump shot that time.
Looked like it, but then he decided, hey, let me mosey on in, take my time, draw a foul. Al Horford's done a decent job against Tim Duncan. Even though they haven't really went to Tim Duncan a lot at times, Al Horford has held his own down there with the big fundamental.
The Spurs have won 8 of 10 so far this season. Another amazing number on Tim Duncan. The fact that he's got more regular season wins than any current player in the NBA. In his 11th year out of Wake Forest, a below average night by those numbers, but his presence on the court changes everything. 13 for Tim, and it's 93-81. Duncan's all-time record in Atlanta, 5-4 as a Spur. Josh Smith. Shot selection, questionable. 93-81.
And the Spurs team missing Robert Horry. You add him to the mix, this team is pretty good. Ginóbili.
Manu's first bucket of the fourth quarter, 19 for the game. 95-81. 2:15 to go. Again, Josh Smith trying to go through two people. Josh Smith is 3 for 16 tonight.
Good decisions. I think you got to look at with all these length and all these guys coming to help. You got to give it up.
Parker. Hey, a 3 for Tim.
What is Tim Duncan doing? Got himself a 3. Attempt, not a make. Attempt.
Foul coming on Bowen.
The second.
Now the three-point specialist, Barry, trying to help him out.
Trying to coach him. Didn't get your legs into it. You didn't follow through. Tim said, okay, yep, next time.
Solomon Jones coming in for Atlanta. Jock Vaughn for San Antonio with 1:33 remaining. Spurs host Orlando tomorrow night. That should be an interesting game. Haven't the Magic played just a great first couple of weeks of the season, and they have been outstanding on the road.
On the road, getting wins.
Joe Johnson now with 20. 95-83 San Antonio.
And the Spurs like this kid, Darius Washington. He's done a good job of coming in and running his ball club when Jock Vaughn was out early couple games. They say he play hard and he's a fierce competitor.
Josh Smith the steal. Trying to go to Solomon Jones, and it's out of bounds. Our safe auto player of the game tonight is Tony Parker. Game changer in this 35th year of Spurs basketball that began in the ABA. Tony Parker, 31 tonight on 13 of 20 shooting.
Brent Barry helping him out with a little massage. He didn't play tonight. They have a lot of weapons. Just a little banged up, so Pop got him some rest.
Greg Popovich expertly managing the minutes of this team. Travel.
Francisco tried to throw himself an alley-oop. Just throw it up there and then run and go get it. Can't do that, Francisco. You got to let somebody else touch it.
95-83 Spurs. Joe for three. And Bonner the rebound. Darius Washington was an invitee to Spurs camp. Made the ball club 2 years at the University of Memphis. 95-83. Washington at the end of the clock. And Elson was out of bounds on liftoff. 5.3, and the San Antonio Spurs will improve to 9-2, 3-2 on the road, and send the Hawks down to 3-7 with an Atlanta game at Miami tomorrow night. A tremendous exhibition in that first half. The Hawks got a spark from Mario West and end up losing by 12. Final score, San Antonio 95 and Atlanta 83. Stay